From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Look forward to the day that grandchildren married. We look forward to watching our great-grandchildren grow and to be around them. So we had so many plans.
Now at 4:30, a Bloomington man sharing the tragedy many Hoosiers are facing as COVID-19 claims more lives. His story and warning about the toll the virus can take. Homeless shelters say they are quickly filling up during this pandemic, while one organization says the need will only continue to grow. And the importance of representation during the holidays, how the Children's Museum is helping kids find a Santa that looks like them. First here at 4:30, I want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Alyssa Donovan is standing by with a check of your forecast for this Tuesday. Alyssa, what can people expect as they head out the door this morning?
So, Lauren, another cold start to the day, not nearly as cold as we felt yesterday, and that's because our winds have started to shift. Temperatures, though, are about exactly the same right now, 33 in Indianapolis. As we head through the day, we do have a little bit more cloud coverage than we were expecting from yesterday. That's all due to a system that moved through overnight, leaving us plenty of clouds across central Indiana this morning. We're going to continue to see some breaks here and there, but for the most part, we are expecting another cloudy day. What that means for temperatures is they're not going to climb as much as we thought. So we're going to start today in the low 30s, and then we are going to climb into the upper 30s this afternoon. The good news is we still are on track to be into the 50s later this week. I'll have those details in just a few minutes.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. This is a live look in the downtown area at I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Traffic in this spot is traveling up to speed. No major delays to slow down your commute. Indiana is one of the states currently struggling with the most COVID-19 reports. A new report showing the Hoosier state had the worst infection rate in the entire country last week. The COVID Trafficking Project says Indiana was the only state to record more than 1,000 new COVID-19 cases per 1 million people. Indiana had 1,025 new cases per million people for the week of November 30th through December 6th. That puts us ahead of South Dakota, Nebraska, Utah, and Minnesota. And here's a look at the latest case numbers. The state health department reports 5,700 new cases of the virus. That brings the total number of cases to more than 387,000. 42 more Hoosiers have also died with COVID-19. 5,986 deaths have been reported since this pandemic began. This morning, a familiar face shares a heartbreaking story that too many families are familiar with. Audrey Beckley, who was married to former WRTV anchor and reporter Ken Beckley for nearly 56 years, has died from COVID-19. Now Ken is sharing his story with our Cornelius Hawker to show us the toll the pandemic is taking and that it's much more than numbers.
Well, we had so many plans. I mean, we hoped to stay here in this house for a lot of years. We wanted to do a lot of international travel. We look forward to the day that grandchildren married. We look forward to watching our great-grandchildren grow and to be around them. So we had so many plans.
Ken Beckley's plans with his wife Audrey were cut short in August when she died because of COVID-19.
We were following every health recommendation by national public health officials. Very, very careful about washing hands and sanitizing and distancing and always wearing masks.
In the days before she tested positive for the virus, Audrey started having trouble with her legs.
I heard a thud in our bedroom, and what had happened, she had gotten out of bed, took a step, but her legs really wouldn't move, and she fell against a chest of drawers, and I found her clinging to that.
Ken tells me he struggled to get her in bed and then called 911. That was on a Monday morning. Audrey was out of the hospital that afternoon. By Tuesday night, Audrey was fine, but he started experiencing typical COVID-19 symptoms.
I started chilling, had body aches, headache, and then that went away the next afternoon.
By Thursday, Audrey was in the hospital again. And on Sunday,
her lungs they really had gotten filled with a lot of pneumonia, but they just weren't producing their own oxygen.
In her last few days, Audrey was able to join Ken and their children for a rib dinner.
We have this wonderful picture of her with her ribs and baked potato and so forth.
And made sure her son enjoyed his birthday.
As all mothers are, despite how sick they are, she said she texted and said, "Now be sure to fix such and such for Greg for his birthday." And this was on Monday, and later that afternoon, she sent a selfie, and her trying to smile with a little oxygen tube, running the side of her face.
Audrey told her husband doctors said they were pleased with her progress. They texted again about the dinner Audrey had eaten, and that was their last conversation.
At 3 a.m., I got the call that things had just turned like that, and she was not going to make it. But a wonderful nurse held Audrey's cell phone for me 3 times that day for me to talk to Audrey and to tell her everything that you would want to tell your spouse as he or she were dying. I also told her that I would be fine and the kids would be fine, and not to just hang on out of fear that we wouldn't be.
As Ken walked us through the home he shared with Audrey, showing us all sorts of memories, telling stories about their rich life that was cut short, I asked him to address those who aren't taking COVID-19 seriously.
The maskless of America have an opportunity to really help bring down this pandemic. Those that refuse to mask and follow the other health precautions, just the 3 primary ones, are among the most selfish people ever to have lived. This is a pandemic, for God's sake.
And that was Cornelius Hawker reporting. Here at WRTV, we're remembering those who have lost their lives with COVID-19. If you've lost a loved one to the virus, you can share their story with us right now on our Facebook page. The time right now is 4:37. Because of the pandemic, local shelters and organizations for people experiencing homelessness say the need right now is at an all-time high. Leaders with Wheeler Mission say they've provided beds for more than 1,000 people in central Indiana for the past few nights. Between record numbers and social distancing guidelines, the shelters are filling up quickly. So Wheeler Mission has teamed up with the city to provide overflow space at local hotels. But Wheeler Mission expects the need for shelters to keep increasing in the coming weeks.
So I think we can expect those numbers to rise. Typically, we do not see our highest numbers at Wheeler until we're about January. So we have a couple weeks to go. And I am concerned about the capacity to meet those needs when that comes.
If you'd like to donate to Wheeler Mission, we have a link set up in this story. Just visit our website, WRTV.com. Food banks are also working hard to keep up with demand, and Gleaners Food Bank is asking for assistance. The organization is putting a call out for volunteers. Multiple spots need to be filled this month. Volunteers would help with drive-through distribution. For more information, visit WRTV.com. This morning, a historic theater in Owen County is looking for money that was swiped from their donation box. Officials with the Tivoli Theater out in Spencer say that the money was stolen over the weekend. They believe crooks sprang into action during Sunday's showing of White Christmas. The Tivoli first opened in 1928. The theater opened as a not-for-profit in 2013 after sitting empty and neglected for nearly 2 decades. Theater officials are asking anybody with information about who took the donations to reach out to them. A proposal to put a gravel pit in a Noblesville park appears to be off the table. Last night, the city tweeted a message saying that Beaver Materials formally withdrew its petition regarding a change of zoning request. The group of residents called Don't Leave It to Beaver pushed back against the proposal, outlining health, safety, and ecological concerns. They made a statement saying that they're relieved and they'll continue to fight against any similar proposal in the future. Officials with Beaver told WRTV that they follow all safety health guidelines and they're heavily regulated by the government. The city says Beaver Materials can refile the petition in 2021. It's a popular holiday tradition to take pictures with Santa Claus, but for many families, finding a Santa that looks like them may be harder than you think. Though it's a little bit different this year, the Children's Museum of Indianapolis is continuing a holiday tradition, including a variety of Santas. You can search on their website for their list of certified Santas and see when they're scheduled. Recognizing the importance of representation of all communities, they're sure to have a black Santa every year.
We definitely have had that appreciation of families that, either it was a surprise or they sought out our Santas. And so just that recognition, again, of being able to see themselves in the staff and the offerings that we have.
The museum also offers a theater show called Santa Clues, looking at the origin of Santa and how he's portrayed in different cultures. We have a list of places also offering visits with Santa on our website at WRTV.com. This morning, the UK is one of the first to roll out a COVID-19 vaccine, coming up their plan as members of the public receive their first dose. And an important warning for car owners, what you need to know about the latest safety recall from Kia. Alyssa.
And today is another chilly one. Those temperatures only scraping into the upper 30s once again, but we are on track for that warm up this week. I'll break down the details coming up.
Welcome back. The time right now is 4:43. Here's a live look right now at your commute up on the northeast side, I-465 and I-69. You can see here that traffic is moving along up to speed. No major issues to slow you down. Of course, we'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads throughout the morning, let you know if there are any trouble spots you should avoid. Now in London, the first people are being given doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. ABC's Julia McFarlane is there with an inside look at the distribution process.
This morning, Britain's biggest vaccine program began with patient A, the first person to receive the vaccine as part of the rollout called Operation Courageous, a 90-year-old grandmother named Margaret Keenan in Coventry, England. The UK is the first country in the world to authorize and deploy the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech, a point of pride for the country with the highest death toll in Europe. The scale of the nationwide operation is unprecedented, with the army drafting in volunteers and Britain's National Health Service hiring tens of thousands of extra staff to cope. The drugs arrived in the country last week, transported from the production facility in Belgium in specialist freezer containers, keeping the drugs at -94 degrees Fahrenheit. 70 hospitals in the UK have been chosen as initial hubs administering the vaccine, where staff already have the specialist equipment needed for storing the vaccines at those extreme temperatures. The British government has slated frontline health staff, the elderly and care home workers to be the first in line. The order determined by which groups are deemed most vulnerable to the infection. The first phase of the operation involves 800,000 doses, and treatment requires 2 doses per person, spaced 21 days apart, meaning 400,000 people will be vaccinated initially, and full immunity starts 7 days after the second dose. Next, the rollout will take place in doctors' practices and emergency treatment centres that are being opened on unused stadiums and conference centres across the UK. The phase of the vaccine programme involving those under 50 will start later in 2021. Julia McFarlane, ABC News, London.
It is 4:46. CVS is preparing to distribute the coronavirus vaccine by adding thousands of jobs. The pharmacy chain says it's looking to hire more nurses, pharmacists, and pharmacy technicians across the country. They say they need the staff urgently so they can be prepared when the vaccines are ready. CVS says it plans to give millions of vaccinations in the next year. Government documents show the first vaccines will be delivered to locations across the U.S. on December 15th. That is, if Pfizer's vaccine gets the green light from an FDA panel that meets this Thursday. Indiana Representative Jim Banks says that he wants to ban stylized face masks on the House floor. He said the masks worn by some of the members of the House have interfered with the seriousness and decorum of their duties. In a letter to Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Banks cited one representative who wore a mask displaying his campaign logo. Another Oregon representative, Earl Blumenauer, reportedly had one covered in marijuana leaves. Blumenauer responded saying Republicans should focus on helping families and small businesses in the pandemic instead of focusing on mask patterns. Pelosi has not commented. President-elect Joe Biden has reportedly made a decision on who he will nominate for Secretary of Defense. Sources tell CNN that Biden has selected retired Army General Lloyd Austin for the job. Austin would become the first black man to lead the Defense Department if he's confirmed by the Senate. He previously served as the Vice Chief of Staff of the Army under President Obama. A plan is in the works to create a massive message of support for IMPD. 3 Republican city-county councilors introduced a proposal to paint Black the Blue along Shelby Street. The writing would be similar to the Black Lives Matter mural painted in August along Indiana Avenue. The new proposal will be discussed during a Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee meeting on Wednesday night. At 4:47, let's toss things over to Alyssa for a look at our forecast for this Tuesday. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. Another chilly start today. The good news is we are still on track to start that warming trend as we head into the day tomorrow. Our warmest day is going to be on Friday. We've climbed a couple degrees with that forecast as well. And then this weekend, we do have that potential of some rain coming our way. Much cooler temps hit us again on Sunday and Monday. Right now, across the area, we are in the 30s once again. 33 in Indianapolis. Feels a little bit more like 29, and that's because those winds are still out of the northwest, but they are starting to shift. They're going to become a little bit more southwest as we head through the day, which means it's not going to feel as chilly as it was yesterday. Yesterday it was very frigid outside. It's just going to be cold today. Temperatures are only going to climb into the upper 30s once again, and that's because we have all this cloud coverage that came in overnight from a disturbance to the north. Those clouds have socked in over central Indiana. We're going to continue to see those cloudy skies this morning, and then likely we'll see those throughout the afternoon. Maybe some peaks of sunshine here and there later today, but for the most part it's going to be another cloudy day, which is why those temperatures are going to stay about where we were yesterday with those daytime highs in the upper 30s. So what's happening next in that temperature trend? That chilly air is going to move off to the west, or to the east rather, and then we have mild air coming in from the west. That ridge of mild air is in place over the southwest right now. That's going to start to move into central Indiana as we head through the day tomorrow. That's going to take our temperatures way up just from today into tomorrow. We're going to climb more than 10 degrees in the next 24 hours. Behind that, some moisture is going to move in from the south, and we are going to see our rain chances increase a little bit each day, Friday and Saturday, and then we are going to continue to see a chance of those showers on Sunday. That's all from this deep low pressure system that's going to move up from the south. That's going to bring us plenty of moisture. We're going to start seeing those showers late on Friday night, and then we'll continue to see plenty of showers overnight Friday night and into the day on Saturday. And of course, we'll give you more timing on that as we get closer to Friday. Looking ahead today, temperatures starting in the 30s this morning. Temperatures only into the upper 30s, so similar to what we saw yesterday, but it's not going to feel as frigid outside because we don't have those northwesterly winds that we saw yesterday afternoon. Highs today into the upper 30s, mostly cloudy throughout the day. Looking at our 7-day forecast, tomorrow is when we start to see that warming trend. 50 degrees for our high on Wednesday, mostly sunny Thursday, 56 on Friday. Most of the day Friday is going to be dry, but by the late afternoon and early evening, that's when we'll start to see those showers coming in, and we'll continue to see those rain showers Friday night and into Saturday before we see things clear out on Sunday and temperatures drop back off below average.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now up on the northwest side. This is in the dog leg at I-65 and I-865 where everything's traveling smoothly. No issues right now to report if you're on the northwest side of Indy or traveling in Boone County, maybe heading towards the downtown area on Interstate 65. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads this morning, let you know if there are any trouble spots to avoid. Now to an important notice for Kia owners this morning. The automaker is issuing a recall on hundreds of thousands of its vehicles. A total of 295,000 vehicles are impacted because of a fire risk. Kia says the models include some Sorrentos, Fortes, Optimas, Souls, and Sportages. The company says the owners of affected models will be notified and dealers will make the necessary repairs and inspections for free. After 70 years, Ikea says it's scrapping its Bible-sized annual catalog. The furniture retailer said they made the decision due to a shift of online shopping. The first Ikea catalog was released in Swedish in 1951. At its peak in 2016, Ikea printed 200 million copies in 32 languages. The 2021 catalog, released in October, will be the final version, but Ikea plans to release a smaller book with home furnishing inspiration next year. The Marvel Universe is adding some new superheroes. Just after the break, a look at the latest project honoring healthcare workers. And Indigo is reimagining transportation with new bus stops. Coming up at 5 o'clock, how they say their new super stops will help make travel faster and safer. It's 4:52. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The time right now is 4:56. Here's a live look right now at your commute over on the east side. Here's I-70 and Sherman Drive. You can see traffic there is moving along smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. No issues to slow down your commute. Marvel has a new comic book out, and it's not the usual superheroes you're used to seeing. Instead of the pages being filled with superheroes, they're filled with real-life heroes, our healthcare workers helping fight the COVID-19 pandemic. The story is available for free online. It features local doctors and nurses in Pittsburgh, and it showcases their difficult jobs on the front lines. All right, let's get a look at our forecast right now with Alyssa Donovan. Alyssa, we had a pretty chilly day yesterday. Any improvements today?
You know what? Today, it's still going to be chilly outside. It won't feel as frigid, though, and that's because we're seeing a shift in those winds. However, temperatures are going to be about where they were yesterday, into the upper 30s. We're going to see mostly cloudy skies again, maybe a peak of sunshine later this afternoon, but really a similar day to what we saw on Monday. But the good news is warmer temperatures are still on the way. 50 degrees on Wednesday, 56 by Friday. Those rain chances return on Saturday.